Hi everyone. So I went into my civic summer with a question. What do museums have to do with justice? I first got started thinking about this question during the summer after my sophomore year of college, actually, which I spent interning at the Ezekiel System of Museums in Cape Town, South Africa. When I interned for a social history curator there, I noticed the ways in which museums can play an active role in commemorating injustice, in transforming sites of inequality and pain into sites of memory and of healing from apartheid. In other words, I saw that museums can play an active role in pursuing justice. For my civic summer, I got to explore this issue from a new perspective entirely. This time, I was working in a curator's office again, but not in a museum. Instead, I was working in a building for which the idea of justice is central to its identity. It's even carved in stone. So, a brief history of the Curator's Office of the Supreme Court of the United States. The office was founded in 1973 by Chief Justice Warren Burger to record and preserve the court's history. Their mission is guided by the understanding that the past is important, and it's to promote a greater understanding and appreciation of the nation's highest court. In the lower Great Hall of the Supreme Court building, the office curates exhibits to this end. As an intern in the office of the curator, I got to conduct research for upcoming exhibits. Pictured here is a current exhibition which my supervisor put together and which was there when I arrived. The exhibit is called In Re Lady Lawyers, The Rise of Women Attorneys and the Supreme Court. Back to that original question about museums and justice. I learned that museum work is storytelling work. I saw the inspiration that many visitors derived from reading about women like Belva Lockwood, who fought tooth and nail to allow women to be admitted to the bar of the Supreme Court, and once she succeeded, who vigorously defended indigenous land rights. I believe that telling stories like this one in the Supreme Court building allowed people to see themselves reflected in history and to see themselves as part of a continual arc of justice. I also conducted courtroom lectures. These are 30-minute public presentations on the history of the court and on court process all the way from petition to opinion. They're a rare opportunity for visitors to enter the courtroom itself, the place where cases have been heard and decided since the building's completion in 1935. Relaying the history of that room was one of my favorite parts of delivering lectures. The fact that cases from Brown v. Board of Education all the way to Gideon v. Wainwright, that all of these came out of that very space, is a powerful and humbling realization. And I loved connecting visitors to the history of justice through the history of that room. During each courtroom lecture, I also got a chance to answer people's questions about the Supreme Court. I learned that there's a lot that people don't know, but also that people are generally earnestly curious to learn more. Museums can educate, but there are uncertainties that slip through the cracks, and I was grateful for the opportunity to help people get their questions answered. In all of this work, I learned a lot about the court and about law. Through my internship, I had the opportunity to attend sessions of the court. Sitting in the courtroom as the justices read summaries of opinions gave me a chance to reflect on the power of law and legal advocacy to effect structural change that affects all of our lives. But it also gave me a chance to think about the importance of clear communication. The summaries read during non-argument sessions often present complex cases as narratives and express the reasoning behind decisions in clear and comprehensible English. In a way, this reminded me of museum work. I was moved by the power of good legal writing to express ideas clearly, but I was also moved by the power of good legal writing to tell stories that we can all connect to, not unlike the Belva Lockwood exhibit in the Great Hall below. Another thing I learned this summer is that I love Washington, D.C. Photos to follow. Although finding balance wasn't always easy between working full-time and studying for the LSAT, I was grateful for the opportunities I had to explore the city, to connect with civics and also some civic alums, and of course, to check out some of DC's many incredible museums. Through my civic summer, I've learned not only that museums have a whole lot to do with justice, but that my interest in museums is directly tied to my interest in justice. In this way, my experience confirmed my desire to attend law school, where I'm excited to learn more about how storytelling can improve the ways that systems work for people. Thank you.